Welcome to your weekend focus, April the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th, 2021. My name is Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all of the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. I send it right back to you. Thank you truly. So let's look at the numerology first. Now, as you know, we have a pattern this month that we rarely see, and that is the daily energy is also the dates energy. So when we're looking at, say, the 16th, we can be looking at April the 16th, but also if we do the daily energy of April plus 16 plus 2021, we end up with a 16 energy as well, right? We have 4 plus 7 plus 5. And in numerology, we boil it down to the single digit. So 1 plus 6 is a 7. And the 7 is about honoring your truth, stepping into your truth. So we may feel that we need to be in control in some way under the 7 energy. Or it makes us aware of where we have given away our power or our authority. And the 16 energy is about awakenings. It's seeing things clear for the first time. And maybe we have to wait for the dust to settle a little bit, because the 16 energy can come in and take away something that is not good for us, whether we realize it or not. It never comes in and takes away an energy or a part of our path that we needed in order to succeed. But it could realign us. It may not be very comfortable at the time. It may push us in a little bit of a corner so that we see where we need to change, where we need to grow, where we need to put our focus. Saturday is the 17 energy, so an 8. Now, the 8 always asks for some sort of action. The 8 is very much about standing within our integrity and embracing our power, our strength, our courage in a good way. To use it, in a positive form, in a positive manner. The 17 energy is about making the impossible possible. It's about realizing that you can go forward in a way that you closed the door on that thought before, or people talked you out of it, or you just didn't see the way clearly enough. There wasn't clarity, there wasn't understanding. The 18 energy comes to a 9. So the 9 is, yes, about closing doors, healing, but it's also about preparing the soil for those seeds that you want to plant. It's about preparing the way. It's about opening up space to invite in the new ideas, the new opportunities, the new relationships, the new environments that we seek, that we want to transform into our life, manifest into our life. The sun is in Aries. Moon, we start out on Friday with the moon in Gemini, but Saturday, about halfway through the day, it'll go into Cancer. So the first half of the weekend we'll have with the Gemini moon, the curious child within us. And we may not be able to stay too much on task for very long on one thing or another. We want to learn, we want to grow our minds, but we don't want to learn in depth, the deep learning. It's more of, we learn a little bit of this and learn a little bit of that, and it takes us in the direction of this, and then we learn something about that, and we're curious, and we want to explore. We want to, we want to explore. Absolutely. And then the Cancer moon, and the moon loves being in Cancer because it's ruled by the moon. It brings us a little bit back to being grounded. Home and family, the feeling of security and safety is very strong under the 4 energy. The 4 energy is about understanding how to bring in that balance, how to bring in that feeling of safety and security in your life, where it is absent, and shining a light on things that we need to change in our life in order to bring in that energy, not once in a while, but continuously. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say for us, shall we? The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is about love. It's about passion. It's about seeing the beauty in the world around us, within ourselves, within each other. The Knight of Cups asks us in many ways to let down our hair, to enjoy ourselves a little bit, to build on a romance or a passion, a love, a desire, and to enjoy the process. We have the Nine of Wands. Well, we haven't seen the Nine of Wands in a while. And we're very much in new moon energy. We're very much about going forward on a new path. I mean, we are in a very beautiful weekend, because as we go into the new week, the sun will also move into Taurus. So we have that sun in Aries, that trailblazer, that pioneer spirit, that independent soul, wanting to step forward into new things and new opportunities, new adventure, new learning experiences, new relationships. Now, the Nine of Wands, if you look at this card, all the wands in the backdrop are the paths that you have walked. And if you look, they're all tall, they're all straight, they all have foliage on them, there's all growth on them, which says that you've walked many paths to strengthen yourself. Whether it is allowing healing in, allowing love in, allowing your courage, your strength out. What you like, what you don't like. It's molded you into the person you are today. And you're ready to go forward. And, this card, I love it because we look at the stumpy little crooked wand. And it's twisted and it's gnarled and there's no growth on it and it's stubby, and you're thinking, how am I going to take this on and be successful? How am I going to walk this path so this one too is as tall and straight as the others? Now, those wands is the backdrop to your tomorrow. It's the path that you have been, it's the path you've been making all along to walk. Every event, every door you opened has led you to this moment of this one wand in your hand. So sometimes this card can be almost walking into a destiny. What people will remember you for. Who you are within the community, within the family, within the world. Now, I do love telling the story on this one. A young girl was making threads and ropes, all different sizes, colors, strengths, and did fine threads and thick cords. And one day her father came in and said, "Daughter, it's time we pack our ropes, our cords, our threads, and we go to sell them." So he says, while we're out in the world, we will also look for a husband for you. And she said, "Okay, Father." And she packed everything up and they set sail, and there was a violent storm, and there was a shipwreck, and she was the only survivor. And along came some soldiers, and they took her to the market to sell her as a slave. And one of the gentlemen in the crowd thought, well, I could probably give her a beautiful home. So he took her in and taught her how to make different cloths and canvases. And she went to work doing that for several years. And she learned how to add the dyes and make beautiful patterns and different strengths of materials. And one day he says, it's time to pack up and sell our wares. And so she started packing up, and they got on the ship, and it was attacked by pirates, and she was taken hostage. And they taught her how to make those long poles, the shafts that would hold the flags or hold the sails in place, and how to mend them, how to fix them, how to build them. And then a violent storm came up, and once again, shipwrecked. She's the lone survivor on this beach. And as she came to on the beach, she looked up into the heavens and she said, why? Why is it every time I start to get comfortable in my life, I accept my life for what you've given it to me as, and I start to make friends, and you rip it away from me. Why are you doing this to me? And along came some soldiers and said, we need to take you to the emperor. She says, yeah, I know. Let's go. And she gets in front of the emperor, and the emperor starts talking about this myth, this story about a lone woman that would end up on their beach one day and make the emperor rich and famous throughout all the land by building the most amazing tent for the world to see. And he asked her, can you do this? And well, she thought about it for a little bit, and she says, yes, I think I can. He's wonderful. What do you need? And she says, well, first we have to make the large canvas walls. And, well, we don't have anything like that here. And she goes, don't worry, I know how. We'll start working on it. And once that was completed, next was the ropes, which they didn't have any of. So she went to work and taught everybody how to make the ropes to tie down the tarps, the big tarps. And finally the poles needed to be put into place, and they had nothing like that either, but she knew how to build them. So she set herself down with a bunch of people, and they started building the poles. And by the time she had it up, it was the most marvelous tent anybody had ever seen. It was full of color and different rooms and heights, and it was just a marvel. And of course, the emperor got very well known and rich because of this. And so she was brought in front of the emperor again. And he says, you have made me rich beyond my wildest dreams, and the kingdom so rich. And people are talking about us from one sea to the next. What can I do for you? And she thought about it. And she thought, well, a very long time ago, I set sail with my father to find a husband. I guess I would like a husband. And the emperor said, marry me. And they lived happily ever after. And so sometimes where we are in our life, we're not ready to marry the emperor. We have to walk the paths. But one day everything comes together. All of our skills, all of our talents, all the things that we have walked through come together to play a major role in our destiny, in our forward motion. We have the World card. Talk about completion. So the World card is all about a new beginning, a new start. But there are loose ends. There are things that you need to take care of today, tomorrow, the next day. During this new moon, we want to prepare ourselves, get ready for planting those seeds. And if we're not ready to plant those seeds, we have to address the things where the things weigh us down. They burden us. They hold us back. It fills us with anxiety or fear or dread that we have to deal with something. It's time to remove those things from your plate. And we don't want to do it with, did I even talk about the 18 energy? And then I don't think I did, because the 18 energy is about the inner soul. It's about understanding what truly makes you feel alive, full of passion, wild and free. So it's a little bit of this where we have learnt upon our path what makes us happy, what we want to step into, where we find the most joy and happiness, where we can have success, our talents, our abilities. This card's saying clear the clutter so that you can plant those seeds. We are in new moon energy. So this is a time when we do want to plant those seeds. We do want to take that step forward. But there are things that are going to trip us up or hold us back. We have to pay attention to our obligations, our responsibilities, get them off our plate so that we can make the space for the new things that we want in our life. You know, Sunday is that 9 energy. It's about making room so that those new things can appear in your life. You can't plant a seed in the middle of a lawn. You have to make the space for it. You have to till the soil. You have to give that seed room to grow. And it can't when it's fighting with all the grass. So it's about it's about making it's about preparing your world in a way that when you plant that seed, you can put the focus on that seed. You can thrive. You can bring in success. So what holds you back? It's not even so much that you can't take that step forward because something's holding you back, but the thing that's holding you back is negative and it's weighing you down. And so you need to release it. You need to deal with it. You need to let it go so that it's not there anymore, taking away your focus, taking away your attention. We have the Four of Pentacles. This is letting go of something that is holding you back. Something that we're clutching on to that doesn't work in our lives anymore. Maybe it's an old paradigm or an old way of thinking. This is telling us to let go, be in the moment, want or need nothing, and see what's around you that you can step into, that you're already ready to step into. There's no more planning or anything to do, but we need to let go of something. We need to move past something. We need to deal with something. And since the 18 energy is here, I would have to say that we have to do that in a way where we're not alienating people or being very ruthless in our decisions and our demands to have things in control the way we want them. We have a great mental alertness. Mercury is pretty busy this weekend up in the sky. So our voice is strong. Our thoughts are strong. We have quick thinking. So it's time to stretch. It's time to turn around. It's time to realize that there is this beautiful giant pentacle gate being watched over by 2 angels waiting for your presence, for you to step through. So what circumstances, what events, what problems, what conundrums do you have in your life that are taking away your focus, taking away your attention, are wearing down your energy in such a way that you can't see that beautiful doorway waiting for you, that path waiting for us? And so we sit there and we're still staring at this little stubby wand going, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So it's about raising your energy. It's about understanding what needs to be taken care of so that we can move forward. You know, we're clutching this one pentacle so tight and we've got our feet on 2 of the other ones, right? We're not letting them go anywhere. We're holding on to that. And so it could even be just something from your past that angered you, that hurt you, that you're holding on to. And so forgiveness to another person. Now, when I say forgive another person, okay, if they did something wrong to you, okay, you're not forgiving them and saying, oh, it's okay, you can do that to me. No, not at all. They cannot do that to you. But you could forgive them for, You can forgive their parents for not bringing them up right and treating you in such a way or doing something like that to you, or them not having enough common sense or enough backbone to do the right thing in your life and instead decided to do the wrong thing. You can forgive them for being too shallow, too into themselves, too they look like ladybugs, but they're not. Self-entitlement, Somebody had the self-entitlement and felt that they deserved this, and so they snatched it away from you. And the resentment, that wears you down. Okay? That's a negative energy. So forgive them for their self-entitlement, their feeling of self-entitlement. That they don't know any better, and that there's nothing you can say or do to make them see clearly what they have done. So forgive them for being inept, okay? Or maybe their parents didn't bring them up right, or maybe they didn't hang out with the right people. Somebody didn't teach them the right lessons in life to treat somebody else with respect and kindness, or thoughtfulness, or supported you in some way. But no, you're not forgiving them and saying it's okay to walk over me. You're definitely not doing that. You're forgiving them for their lack of intelligence and seeing what they've done. The Fool. Look at this. The Fool shows up as our last card. We'll be going into the Taurus energy soon, so we'll be a little bit more reserved in how we want to step into that new path. But right now, we are in the sun sign of Aries, and that is about stepping into a new adventure, a new lifestyle, a new way of being, becoming. The Fool is the beginning of a path, the start of a new beginning. We don't need a lot here. We don't have suitcases piled up behind us. We have very little. Usually it's shown with that hobo suitcase, right? That little kerchief on a pole carrying the belongings, because that's all you really need. This is telling you you don't need a lot to start, to get going, to take that first step, to plant that seed, and to expect it to grow. Okay, we'll get a mantra card for the weekend. Ooh, I just got goosebumps all over. I wonder why. Whew. Well, maybe it's the mantra card that's going to shock us. I don't know. I'm getting it now, though. Battle of the Blues. Take steps towards positive change. I'm going to read this one right out of the book because I don't think I've ever encountered this card before. But the Battle of the Blues. Yeah, let's just go and see what it says here because I am intrigued. When you have sad feelings, feelings of gloom, feelings of inadequacy, you need to recognize this as a temporary situation. Feelings of sadness, negative thoughts can immobilize you, and you have the power to change this. Perhaps it's a wake-up call to get into action and make changes. This is the time to take small steps. Keep moving every day to bring positive change and self-empowerment. Exercise, study. Hello, my Milo. Hello, my baby. Yes. 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 Down now? Okay, go on. That's a good boy. Remember when I first got him? It was like, oh my gosh. He can be so strong and such a dead weight. He can push it. I mean, he's big. He's a doll. Take small steps. Keep moving every day to bring positive change and self-empowerment. Exercise, study, socialize with like-minded people. Listen to music. Talk about your feelings with trusted family, friends, a confidant. Know that the magic of the universe and the angels are there to support and guide you. Gather your courage and rise to meet your challenges. And we have the 8 energy, which is all about rising and bringing out your courage. How did they put it? Gather your courage. The mantra is, I take small steps every day to make positive changes in my life for happiness and fulfillment. We don't get there with one giant step. Very rarely will that happen. And if it does, it's very fleeting. So when we take those small steps, we create a new lifestyle for ourselves. We create a new energy for ourselves. It doesn't happen overnight. I think we had the deer out a couple of days ago telling us to giggle. We've had a lot of energy about letting in the laughter, letting in the joy in one way or another. One of the little tricks you can do is when you're feeling that, you go to the mailbox and you get that handful of bills and you're like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to pay this. I'd be fine on this. I don't know. I need this. I can't afford it. You start to thinking in this way. When you get those bills in your hand, and you start to think about all those negative factors or whatever it is in your life where those negative factors start talking to you, the self-doubt comes in, maybe how you feel you're inadequate even though you're not. But we do have these fleeting moments. We do have, and sometimes it sticks, sometimes it lingers. So imagine a monkey water skiing, wearing a pink bandana, eating a banana. And what happens is there's like this split second or two in your brain, because your brain can't be lingering in negativity and create the monkey picture in your head at the same time. So it has to take a time out in order to create that picture for yourself. And when it does raise your energy a little bit. And it's at that moment that you grasp onto that and start moving in that way. And it might be fleeting. It might only last a couple of minutes. But even a couple of minutes of bringing out joy, bringing out happiness, relaxes you. Lets go of that stress. Lets go of that tension. Okay? Have you ever just stopped during the day and breathed in? Felt your rib cage expand? Maybe your tummy is out a little bit, and then... And when you exhale, you let all of that energy, all that negative energy, release with your breath, and feel where the stress was in your neck and your shoulders and your lower back and your knees. It can show up anywhere in your forehead. You're so you've got the frown. You didn't even notice that you were walking around with a frown, and putting on a smile. That raises your energy. Going for a brisk walk or doing something active will raise your energy. Okay, and activity and exercise is a wonderful way of beating a depression, and not beating a depression. It helps manage your emotions better, because it's releasing. It's letting go of that negativity, of that burden that you're feeling. So, take a step every day towards positive change in your life. So, in a way, we're circling back to believe in yourself. You've got this. Your goals, your dreams, your desires. Friday may waking you up to where you have been allowing the energy, a person, the environment back you into a corner, and seeing what needs to change and how it needs to change. And even if it doesn't seem like you have any answers, don't worry about it, because then we go into the 17 energy, and that's making the impossible possible. But for that, we need to bring out our courage, bring out our strength. Know that we've got this, and the clarity will come in. And then we have the 18 energy that allows us to see what needs to be cleared in our world in order for that inner happiness, that inner freedom, sense of freedom, to be alive in us, to go forward. Then as we walk into the Taurus sun, we know beyond a shadow of a doubt, or we have a good inkling at least, that we can be successful, that we've got this, that we can take a risk on ourselves. Look at this. Stretch out your neck. Stretch your neck out with the giraffe. What a strange creature, huh? Such a tall neck, tall legs. So beautiful. They look so graceful when they're running. Oh my goodness. Stretch, strength, intuition, mobility, yoga, clairvoyant. Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape. So that's telling us we need to go with the flow. We need to say, okay, this is happening in my life, and this is where I have control, and this is where I really don't have control. So I'm going to ignore that part right now and pay attention to what I do have control of in order to go forward. And I'm not going to do it in some kind of forceful way or ruthless way, or I'm going to take it one step at a time. I'm going to use my courage and my strength to walk with integrity, to talk with integrity, and move myself forward in the direction I want to go. Sometimes we expect more from others because we would be willing to do that for them. Giraffe is reminding you to be careful of who you allow within your circle. Giraffe has a close-knit group with family and friends, and when there is someone who disrupts the dynamics of the relationship, Giraffe is quick to change that. Whether it's their long necks and legs or just simply their personalities, giraffes are known to have clairvoyant abilities, the ability to see clearly through people, problems, and sometimes even into the future. This uncanny intuitiveness is a message that you too have the ability of intuition if you practice trusting. When was that we had the intuition? Was it Thursday? The high intuition. So that could be still lingering and moving into this weekend where, you know what, if something feels off, it's off. Trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust yourself and what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what you're thinking. You're probably very right. You're probably very much on the mark. It's when we push it off. You know, you meet somebody and just something felt wrong, and yet everybody else liked that person. So you thought, well, you know, I'm just going to push that aside because obviously I'm not seeing something everybody else was, but in fact you were seeing something that nobody else was. And you find out months down the road or years down the road that your first instinct was the right instinct to go with. Quieting your mind is a key to listening to your intuition. Yoga is found to be beneficial in the practice, or deep breathing, just some deep breathing. Take a minute out of your life and do some, do 4 or 5 deep breaths. Since giraffes only sleep 2 or 4 hours, they must have physical and emotional strength. Yoga can help you gain the strength needed to gift you in the spiritual and physical mobility. So stay in the moment. Take care of yourself. Raise your energy. This is definitely a weekend. We started way back when with letting down our hair and enjoying ourselves, embracing love, and putting that smile on your face. Raising your energy so that when you start thinking about your path forward, the horizon broadens, widens, opens up to you. You see clearer. You have an understanding come in. A lot of the understanding, I think, this weekend will be what roadblocks were in the way that you didn't even know were in the way, or what was holding you back or down. And you weren't putting the energy towards it, or you weren't noticing it. You weren't bringing it into the conscious. By the end of the weekend, we have the Fool, so we work towards coming up with solutions and how to go forward in new paths and trailblaze. Be the pioneer. Be the I am. And knowing that we need very little in order to take the next step forward in our life for success and happiness. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.